Strong words tonight railing against Mark Brnovich.
Our top law enforcement officer, our top ethics officer to engage in this kind of misconduct is shocking, it's stunning, it's disgusting.
Chandler attorney Tom Ryan is fired up. He says the former Arizona Attorney General misled voters after knowing there was no widespread problems.
It should shock every Arizonan to think that our chief law enforcement officer engaged in this kind of conduct.
Ryan even says Brnovich should be disbarred and not allowed to practice law in the state moving forward since his actions were unethical.
He needs to be investigated for this misconduct. Attorney General Brnovich knew the right thing and he went the opposite way.
Secretary of State Adrian Fontes says Brnovich has no honor.
Justice matters. Apparently it doesn't matter to Mark Brnovich.
In a text to Arizona's family political editor Dennis Welch, Fontes responded yes when he was asked if Brnovich should be disbarred because of this. Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell said there is no evidence presented to date that would have changed the 2020 election.
I do not predetermine the outcome of a case and then seek evidence to support that outcome. I and we in this building follow the evidence.
People around the country were calling our elected officials, our administrative officials, and threatening them with death because our attorney general didn't have the moral backbone to stand up and say, this is not right.
Now, Brnovich released a statement on this today saying that I am proud of the work our office did with the election integrity unit that was created by the Arizona legislature. While subjected to severe criticism from all sides of the political spectrum during the course of our investigations, we did our due diligence to run all complaints to ground. Where we were able to debunk rumors and conspiracies, we did so. Nevertheless, we also identified areas we believe the legislature and county officials should address to ensure confidence in future elections. Maricopa County Supervisor and Republican Bill Gates tweeted a response tonight. He said it is shocking and inexcusable that the former AG of Arizona suppressed the truth his investigators uncovered. 10,000 hours of work and hundreds of thousands of dollars also went into this as well.